All right, here we are. Top of the World Series, game one between the Matsu Miners and the traveling Peninsula Oilers. Game one, top of the World Series. This is for all the marbles here, Jordan. The winner of this best of three series will be crowned the 2016 ABL champions. In game one tonight, we have Stephen Kolek, the right-handed arm out of Texas A&M, going for the Matsu Miners. On the other side, his opposing counterpart, that's going to be Justin Montgomery. He owns a 1.54 earn run average against the Miners. It seems like whether they're in Kenai or here in Palmer, he's going to give the Miners a little bit of trouble. And as mentioned, this is a guy 1.54 ERA, right-handed hurler. He's a good arm for the Oilers. You want to get off to a tough start. If it's a best of three series, game one is absolutely crucial. We said the same thing just a couple of nights ago in game one against the Anchorage Bucks in the first round. The Miners winning that game. Connor Higgins pitching a phenomenal game, and because of that victory, there's a rain out the very next day. And then we ended up pretty much doing what the Oilers did with that whole one-game series. It was the winner take all. Here we are on the top of the World Series, but Jordan, they have a pretty good arm. The Oilers do on the mound side. Just Montgomery have to get to him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously the goal. I mean, he has a 1.54 ERA, and I believe 4 or 5 starts this season against the Miners. So he's definitely settled in whenever he faces the Matsu Miners. But the Miners were able to get to him that one time, and the key to this game is to be patient up at the plate, because in that one game that the Miners were able to get to Montgomery, he offered 6 walks, six
Yep.
free passes, I believe, a couple hit by pitches. He was all over the place. So the Miners have to look to be a little bit patient here tonight. They got to work the count a little bit in their favor. Get those early base runners. We've been saying it all season long. You get your base runners on early on, then that's definitely going to mean some good things too. So there's a couple of players in the lineup who have had some success against Montgomery, but at the same time, if you take your walks, it's just as good as a hit.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to keep the line moving against somebody like Justin Montgomery. Either that or you really have to work to him. If you get to this Oilers bullpen, a lot of the guys, they've been pitching a lot of baseball. They play a lot of non-conference games. Lilly, their closer, he's already gone. He has to take care of school business. So the Oilers are without their closer, and you really want to get to that bullpen. The rumor has it also in terms of starting pitching that Don Bazzani, one of their left-handed pitchers, is he's done for the whole entire summer. He's just going to be a spectator here and a cheerleader in the Oilers dugout. And Billy Oxford, he pitched 90 plus pitches last night. He won 7 innings for the Oilers in their victory against the Pilots, which propelled them into this top of the World Series final series with the Matsu Miners. And, well, Jordan, all we could do is hope for a really solid game. We'll be here on the call. We are OTG'd out and a special little broadcast pins here, courtesy of the Sharpley family. So we're wearing them. Hopefully that's going to bring some good mojo. Thank you very much to the Sharpley family. Well, sure, they're probably going to be tuning in, and hopefully we can win a ring for not only Sharpley, but Josh Roulette, guys like that who are great team guys. Unfortunately, had to go back a little early, and we're wishing for the best. First things first, we have to play game one here in a best of three series, and we're going to have lineups and first pitch coming up right after this break here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, here we go. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Game number 1 of the top of the World Series between the Matsu Miners and the Peninsula Oilers. First things first, the starting lineup for the visiting Oilers. Leading things off, it's their center fielder, Darius Hill. Second, the shortstop, Trey Dawson. Batting third in the lineup for the Oilers tonight, it's the first baseman, Jonathan Washam. The cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt. Batting fifth, Brody Wofford. He's playing left field tonight. Sixth, it's the second baseman, Jeff Chaperon. Seventh, the right fielder, Daniel Speak. Eighth, the catcher, Jared Huber. And rounding out the order is third baseman, Alex Seifert. On the bump for the Miners, it's Stephen Kolick. Kolick had 6 starts in the regular season, won 36 innings, gave up 32 hits in that time span, 15 runs, 10 of which were earned, 10 walks, 30 punch-outs. He had a record of 3-0, ERA of 2.50. The very first pitch, taken low for a strike, says home plate umpire Marcus Dolan. It's Marcus Dolan calling balls and strikes behind the dish tonight. Brad Polk over at first, Tim Davis at second, and Justin Phillips, the third base umpire. This one is a ground ball. Jake Scudder is going to get to it. No, it's going to be Levi Jordan. And Stephen Kolick is right where he should be. It's a 4-1 putout for round number 1. Jake Scudder had to give that ball a little bit of chase. It got past him. Levi Jordan was right there. And Stephen Kolick hustling all the way to first base. And the first batter is retired.
Yeah, it was a good play there, both by Levi Jordan, or all three combined in that play, but it was a good decision by Jake Scudder to let that ball go. His momentum going away from the bag, so it would have been a tougher play for Jake Scudder to make the play. So he decided to let it go by, and fortunately enough, Levi Jordan was right there to make the play.
First pitch to Trey Dawson, taken for a strike. Kolick winds. Here's the 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1. Trey Dawson, the shortstop, tonight for the Peninsula Oilers. Dan Collins here on the call alongside broadcast partner and official scorekeeper tonight, Jordan Swick. That latest pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. Trey Dawson batted .274 over the summer, 2 home runs, 15 ribbies. Kolick gets the signs. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This one grounded. It's Levi Jordan over there at second. He's going to get it on a few hops over to Jake Scudder for out number 2. We'll bring up the first baseman, Jonathan Washam.
See, it's going to be very crucial to keep Stephen Kolick's pitch count down to a minimum. As of right now, he's at 6 pitches, so that's definitely a good sign to see so far. But now you got the heart of the order coming up. They'll probably be a little bit more patient than what the first couple hitters were, trying to, keep Kolick's pitch count up there.
Swing and a miss, strike 1. Jonathan Washam falling behind in the count, 0-1. In the outfield from left to right for the Miners, Donadio, Stotler, and Schwartz. The 0-1 pitch taken for strike 2. Around the horn, it's Armenta at the hot corner. Bissonette at short, Levi Jordan at second, Jake Scudder at first. The battery of Kolick and Andy Cosgrove. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. Stephen Kolick, a right-handed arm out of Texas A&M. One of the better pitchers on this Matsu Minor staff. They're loaded with top-quality arms. Kolick says yes to the signs from Cosgrove. This one's a chopper once again in the infield. Armenta's going to have to hurry. He's going to try to see if it goes foul. And it is a fair ball is the call. So an infield single off the bat of Jonathan Washam. It was a slow roller down the line. Armenta was going to be a hard play for him. So he wanted to see if it was going to go foul. The ball ended up touching the chalk line, and then it stopped there. So the very first hit of the ball game for the Oilers. And up comes the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt. Seth DeWitt has been the team's DH recently. Typically plays first base for the club, but now he only has hitting duties. He's batting .246, 1 home run on the summer, 16 RBIs. Stephen Kolick now going to have to come out of the stretch. He sets. Here's his delivery. Cosgrove tried to do a good job at framing that pitch, but Marcus Dolan all over it behind the plate, says ball 1. Jonathan Washam takes his lead at first. Kolick is getting the signs, and now he comes set. He's pitching from out of the stretch, and here's the 1-0. That one taken right down Broadway for a strike. 1-1 the count now On the cleanup man, Seth DeWitt. Small gap out in left center field. Infield normal depth, Josh Bissonette shading toward his right. That one upstairs for ball 2. Don't want to allow any more base runners or a first inning rally, so Stephen Kolek is going to have to do what he could to get out of this top of the first inning. Game 1 in a best-of-3 series between the Miners and the Oilers for all the marbles. It's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. And for the first time tonight, deuces are wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the number 4 man, Seth DeWitt. There is a runner at first. That's Jonathan Washam. He reached base via an infield single. Washam's taking his lead. Stephen Kolek paying him no mind. He just wants to go to the plate, but before he can, Seth DeWitt is going to be given some time. Seth DeWitt just stepping out of the box, rearranging the batting gloves, and Stephen Kolek looks ready to go. Here's the 2-2 from Kolek. Right there, and it is called a ball. I'm guessing Dolan is calling it low, and that is going to run the count full. That is a big pitch in this sequence, in this situation early on. All right, Kolek, let's get that out of the mindset and fire away this full count. Get out of this inning, buddy. Jake Scudder now playing behind Jonathan Washam at first. Jonathan Washam is going to be off on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. There he goes. The pitch, high ball 4. So after getting the first two batters out, Jonathan Washam reaches on an infield single and Seth DeWitt via the base on balls.
A little bit of tough luck the last couple at bats for Stephen Kolek.
Yeah.
It all started with the Jonathan Washam infield single that third baseman Angelo Armenta thought it may have gone foul. But it did catch chalk, so it was a fair ball that time. And then, Kolek thought he might have had strike 3 to get out of the inning during the last at-bat. It was called a ball, and he ultimately ended up walking him. So, a little bit tough on Stephen Kolek. Hopefully he puts it past him, and he can focus on this hitter.
Looks like that's exactly what he's trying to do. There's a 1-0 count on Brody Wofford. 5th hitter of the inning for the Oilers. He's going to slap that one hard, foul, and that's going to even the count up at 1-1. Hopefully no more tough luck for Kolek this inning. He's pitched well besides that. You mentioned the slow roller to third that ended up being an infield single. And the walk just a moment ago to Seth DeWitt. Thought he had him out on strike 3. Marcus Dolan said otherwise, and here's the 1-1 to Wofford. This one's a chopper, 2-hopper over to Levi Jordan. He's going to go the short route, and it's going to be a fielder's choice 4-6 to end the Oilers' first inning. They do get 1 hit, no runs. They leave 2 men on, and we now head to the bottom of the first inning with the Miners coming to bat for the first time here in the top of the World Series on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, the Matsuo Miners coming to bat for the first time here in the bottom of the first inning. Oilers putting up a goose egg in their top half. So here we are. Leading things off, it's going to be Jacob Huey. Batting second, Levi Jordan. Third, it's the right fielder, Garrison Schwartz. The cleanup man, left fielder, Michael Donadio. Batting fifth, the first baseman, the scud man, Jake Scudder. Sixth, it's the shortstop, Josh Bissonette. Seventh, and manning the hot corner tonight for the Matsuo Miners, Angelo Armenta. Eighth, it's the catcher, Andy Cosgrove. And rounding out the order for the Matsuo Miners, it's the speedy one, a center fielder for us, Brooks Stotler. Defensively for the Oilers from left to right, It's Wofford, Hill, and Speak. Around the horn from first to third, Washam, Chaperon, Dawson, and Seifert. And it is the battery of starting pitcher Justin Montgomery and catcher Jared Huber. Justin Montgomery has appeared in 11 games this summer, 7 starts, has pitched in 52 and a third innings in conference play, given up 23 hits in that time, 18 runs, 17 of which were earned, 23 walks, 37 strikeouts, comes in with a record of 4-2 and a 2.92 ERA. His first pitch to Jacob Huey catches the outside part of the plate for strike one.
And we mentioned a little bit during the pregame show that for the Miners to have success off Montgomery, they have to be a little bit of show some patience up at the plate.
This one is chopped right over to Alex Seifert. He's going to get it on one hop. That's going to be over to Jonathan Washam for out number 1.
Now batting, your second baseman number 1, Levi Jordan.
Here comes the second baseman, Levi Jordan. On the season, Montgomery is 3-1 against the Matsu Miners and has an ERA of 1.54. His last time out against the Miners was a 1-inning relief appearance where he picked up a save on August 3rd. His last start against the Miners was July 30th. He won 7 innings. That was a complete game because it was a doubleheader. Gave up 1 run. It was earned on 2 hits, no strikeouts, and 3 walks. His 1 loss against the Miners this season, he only went 4 1/3. We hope we see the same of that tonight. Gave up 5 runs. 4 of those runs were earned. And there's a chopper over to the shortstop. It's going to be Trey Dawson, and it's going to be a 6-3 putout. And 2 up, 2 down here for the Miners in the first inning. Jordan mentioned in the Napa Auto Parts pregame show that Montgomery had 6 walks in that loss to the Miners back on June 24th. So we have to be a little patient here at the plate against them. See some pitches and hope for the best. Schwartz is going to swing at the first pitch. This is tailing foul. Wofford was given a chase at first. Now is going to pull up, and it's strike 1 to Garrison Schwartz. On the summer, Schwartz hit .275, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 1 home run, 19 RBIs. The 0-1 to him, he takes. It was a breaking ball. And it is a 1-1 count now. On the general, Garrison Schwartz. Here's Montgomery's 1-1. This one hit right back where it came from. Montgomery's going to get it on a hop, toss it on over to Washam at first, and 3 up, 3 down go the Miners. We now head to the top of the second inning, scoreless here in the first game of the top of the World Series on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, here we are in the top of the first inning. Jeffrey Chaperon, second baseman for the Oilers, leading things off. He's going to take the first pitch he sees, hit it out toward right field, and it's Garrison Schwartz who's going to make the grab for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the second inning. It's going to bring up the right fielder, Daniel Speak. So as Daniel Speak roams up to the dish. We will give you some stat lines on what the right fielder for the Oilers did this summer. Daniel Speak hit .215 on the summer. No home runs, 8 RBIs. Takes the first pitch he sees from Stephen Kolek for a ball. Kolek rocking at the mound. Here's the 1-0. That one paints the outside part of the plate for strike one. Nice to see after Stephen Kolek had a little bit of bad luck in the first inning that he was able to produce 1 out on 1 pitch here in the top of the second. Now a 2-1 count on Daniel Speak. Speak, the left-handed hitter. Kolek, the right-handed pitcher. He winds and delivers the 2-1. This one is hit to the left side. That is going to go foul. Even up the count at 2. Earlier today, when we walked into the press box, we were gifted by Secretary Denise Christopher. We were greeted by her with a couple gifts. Got a gifts from the Sharpley family. I'd like to say a big thank you on air as this one is hit over to the left side. That's Angelo Armenta, the third baseman. Vacuums it up over to Scudder for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down so far here for the Oilers in their top half of the second inning. Currently wearing our broadcast pins. That was one of the gifts we got. And some USC koozies. How did the Sharpley family know we like some cold ones? Maybe Zach relayed the message. Who knows?
But the better question is, how does Zach know?
Well, I might have told him before. This one hit. First pitch that Jared Huber sees.
Good inning.
That is Garrison Schwartz, and absolutely a good inning. That is 3 up, 3 down here. We now head to the bottom of the second inning. It's going to be Donadio, Scudder, and Bissonnette due up for the Miners here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Michael Donadio, also known as Donnie Baseball, leading things off here in the Miners' second. Scoreless here at Herman Brothers Field. First pitch by Justin Montgomery, a breaking ball and a good one. Donadio's behind in the count 0-1. Donnie Baseball has been tearing the cover off the ball as of late. Takes that pitch foul, and he is now behind in the count 0-2. Michael Donadio this summer in conference play batted .330, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 1 home run, 24 RBIs. The delivery from Montgomery, that's low. Good take by Michael Donadio for ball 1. Miners went down in order in the first inning. Donadio looking to start things off right in the second. That one high on Donadio. That was a close call. Donadio is going to get the benefit of the doubt and is going to even up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes apiece. The 2-2 from Montgomery. He's pitching at a quick pace. That one is inside. So after falling behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, Michael Donadio able to run the count full, and that's what you want to see. You want to see Montgomery throw a few pitches here. You don't want to go down too quickly against this guy. Work him out. Here's a 3-2. That one also inside, so Michael Donadio is going to draw the leadoff walk.
And this is also something we talked about in the pregame show, Dan. You got to get those leadoff men aboard. And if they can do that, they'll be threatening to score here. So now the middle of the lineup coming up, Jake Scudder. Now would be a great time, as we were mentioning, for him to tear the cover off the ball. There's no better time than right now in this series.
Jake Scudder batted .225 during the summer. He did lead the league in RBIs. Now 28. 28 runs batted in for Scudder. He takes ball one. He also had 3 dingers. That leads the team. Nobody else with more than 1 home run on the club, unless your name is Jake Scudder. Montgomery falling behind in the count to him. Montgomery's coming out of the stretch. Here's the 1-0. This one grounded. Is it going to get through the hole? And it is off the glove of Chaperon at second base. Donadio didn't have the best of reads on it, so he's going to pull up at second. But the first 2 men reach. We'll wait and see what that one is scored. Regardless, we do have the first 2 men on here in the bottom of the second, that being Michael Donadio at second and Jake Scudder now at first. Still awaiting an official score. Donadio reached via the base on balls, and we do have an official score now. It was going to be ruled a hit for Jake Scudder. So the first hit of the ball game for the Matsu Miners. And here is the shortstop, Josh Bissonette. Seifert playing at the cut of the grass at third. Same can be said on the other corner for Jonathan Washam. They're playing in, perhaps expecting a bunt, and now the wheel play is on. Josh Bissonette's going to lay down a bunt. Are they going to go to third? Yes, they are. They're going to get him, and they do get Donadio. The wheel play was on, and they were able to get Michael Donadio. A pretty well-placed bunt, but that will be a fielder's choice 1-6. The wheel play was on, so that was the shortstop, Trey Dawson, hustling over to third to make the grab. So fielder's choice 1-6 if you're keeping score at home. Donadio was out at third, and Josh Bissonette is going to reach first. Jake Scudder at second. We still have a runner in scoring position and 2 men on. Angelo Armenta at the plate. He hit a home run against the Bucks in the first game of the playoffs. Levi Jordan also went yard in that contest. And because of the rain out last night, the Miners were able to advance here in the top of the World Series. They had 1 victory against the Bucks. The Oilers had 1 victory against the Pilots. And here we are tonight in Game 1 of the top of the World Series, Kolick versus Montgomery. Here's Montgomery's 1-0. That is high, 2-0. One thing Jordan pointed out to all you listeners was that Montgomery had 6 walks in his 1 loss to the Miners this season, where he only went 4 1/3. So if he's showing a little bit of wildness here early on in the bottom of the second, make him throw strikes. If he can, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Perhaps a little bit of the nerves on the mound, too, for Justin Montgomery. He's looking over to second. That's Scudder. Now he delivers. That one does catch the strike zone. 2-1 the count now on the switch-hitting infielder for the Matsu Miners, Angelo Armenta. Josh Bissonette taking his lead over at first. Same can be said for Scudder over at second. Montgomery looking over to second at Jake Scudder. Here's the 2-1. That is outside. 3-1 the count now on Angelo Armenta. He steps out of the batter's box, takes a practice swing or two. Montgomery getting some signs from Trey Dawson over there, the Oilers shortstop. Don't know what they're going to do. Perhaps throw over. Jake Scudder is not the fleetest of foot over at second. I don't expect he's going to try to push the envelope and steal third. I would assume he remains there over at third. But Montgomery, regardless, steps off the mound and chases Scudder and Bissonette back to their respective bases. Josh Bissonette at first. Jake Scudder at second. Angelo Armenta is in the batter's box. We await the 3-1 from Justin Montgomery. And here it is. That one taken by Angelo Armenta was a pretty good take for a strike. Armenta was hoping for the benefit of the doubt there by home plate umpire Marcus Dolan. But Dolan with a good call there. He called it a strike. A strike it was, and now the count runs full on Angelo Armenta. We mentioned that Angelo Armenta hit a round tripper a couple days ago against the Bucks, and Montgomery once again stepping off the bump. So the base runners seem to be getting to Justin Montgomery. Can you imagine if that was somebody else other than Scudder, like a Brooks Stotler over at second? Who would have known what Montgomery would have been thinking then? Regardless, we await the 3-2. Montgomery from the stretch, he delivers. That one low, and it's going to load up the bases. A good eye right there, good take. I know it was downstairs, and that's typically an easy take from Armenta. But regardless, it's a payoff pitch. You don't want to risk anything. It was a breaking ball, but a nice take regardless, and that loads the bases here in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, as we have been seeing as of late, we've been seeing the Miners batters taking their pitches. We saw Michael Donadio walk earlier just to lead off this inning. That was one of the first walks. And then Angelo Armenta just now did not take the bat off his shoulder. Talk about patience.
Yeah.
It was a 6-pitch walk for Angelo Armenta. So the base is now loaded here, 1 out, and the Miners are looking to do some damage.
Cosgrove takes the first pitch, and it's foul. He hit that one hard. Woo, he teed up that one, and it was fouled by a few feet. That could have blew this baby wide open. Instead, it's just an 0-1 count on Cosgrove. Boy, did he get close. Andy Cosgrove, boy, I tell you. What a delight he has been. We've had some bad luck with catchers due to injuries. And Cosgrove having to step up. He's the team's only true catcher. Bases are loaded for him. Here's the 0-1. He takes that one. A good take by Cosgrove. And a 1-1 count on him.
Those high pitches are kind of intimidating as a hitter. So, you don't want to chase anything out of the zone, as we have so far seen just this inning. Montgomery being a little bit wild.
Wait for a good pitch if you're Cosgrove. Here's the delivery from Montgomery. He's going to chop this one on the ground. It's going to be a tough play. Do they go home? No, they're going to flip to first for 1 out. But it's going to bring a run in. That is Jake Scudder scoring from home. It looked like when Washam fielded that ball, he was going to make the play at home. And let me tell you, they would have got Scudder at home, but instead he stopped a little bit, and on that hesitation, decided he was going to flip it over to first base and get the for sure out. And because of that, the Miners get the first run of the ball game here. It's a 1-0 score at Herman Brothers Field in the bottom of the second inning. So Josh Bissonette moves into third. Armenta's at second. First base is open for Brooks Stotler. So you could credit Andy Cosgrove with the run batted in. First run batted in this series on the 3-1 ground out. And here's Brooks Stotler, the bunt extraordinaire. The infield is playing back on him. It wouldn't surprise me if he laid one down. Armenta's at second. Bissonette is at third. Brooks Stotler, the left-handed hitter, awaits the 1-0. He swings through that one, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs to the Minor center fielder, Brooks Stotler. So far, the Miners with 1 run in the inning. Jake Scudder scoring on the 3-1 ground out by Andy Cosgrove. Montgomery with the 1-1. This one is hit. Is it going to fall in front of Wofford at third? He's given a chase, and it is just foul. It cleared the fence here at Herman Brothers Field, but it was foul. Folks, we were about 5 to 10 feet away from this being a 4-0 ball game. I thought that one, at first, the way it was hit, it was softly hit. I thought it was going to bloop in front of Wofford or on the side right by foul territory. And before you know it, it clears the wall here at Herman Brothers Field.
Yeah, that ball definitely carried quite a bit. I thought the same exact thing. I thought that would have fallen maybe on the line, but that one definitely carried and got over.
So now it's a 1-2 count on Brooks Stotler. 2 outs, 2 men on. They're in scoring position. Armenta at second, Bissonette at third. Montgomery from the stretch. It's low, and it bounces in front of Jared Huber. The runners are not going to take off. Deuces Wild are on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Brooks Stotler, 2 men on. Kind of an impressive display of power there from Brooks Stotler, considering that ball was softly hit and it still cleared the wall. It's 325 down the lines here at Herman Brothers Field, 390 straightaway center, 342 in the left center field gap, 345 in the right center field gap. Montgomery from the set. This one is hit over towards second. Chaperone is going to field this one cleanly and throw it over to first for the final out this inning. But the Miners, on one hit, score 1 run, leave 2 men on. Let's head to the top of the third inning here at Herman Brothers Field. The Miners lead by a score of 1-0, and it's on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. It's the third baseman, Alex Seifert, leading things off here for the Oilers. His team trails the Miners by a score of 1-0 here in the top of the third inning. First pitch from Kolek hit over toward right field. Garrison Schwartz on his horse makes the diving grab. Out number 1. Good play there, Garrison Schwartz. General was on his horse. Then he jumps off his horse for the diving catch. All right, Gary.
What a fantastic play by Garrison Schwartz out there in right field. If you don't have the speed out there, that ball gets down, and that could be a double. So instead of the leadoff double, it's going to be a very tough out for the Oilers, and the Miners will take it.
So a huge first out of the inning for the Miners, and first pitch is a strike to the leadoff man, Darius Hill. Darius Hill, let me tell you, folks, he is a good leadoff hitter. This is one of the guys you surely want to get out. He's going to slap this one foul. Ooh, that would have been trouble had it gone fair. Darius Hill in the season, has the second highest batting average for the Oilers, batting .322. No home runs, but he does have 3 two-baggers, 2 triples, 13 RBIs. He is speedy, so if you get him out, it's a huge out. You do not want him on the base paths. It's 1-2 on him. He's a left-handed hitter. Kolek is a right-handed hurler. Kolek gets the signs. Here's the 1-2, ladies and gentlemen. This one slapped foul. Outfield playing straight up. Basically normal depth. Could say the same for the infield. Cosgrove relays the signs to Kolek. He's working fast. The 1-2. Slider looked like outside. Count now 2-2. Sun's starting to peek through here at Palmer. Would you look at that? Ended up being a nice day for baseball. This one hit on the ground. That's Armenta. This should be a routine play. It did take a little bit of a tough hop on him. Regardless, he's going to suck it up on over to Scudder for out number 2. And here's the shortstop, Trey Dawson, coming up to the dish now. He grounded out back in his first at-bat. That was in the first inning. It was a 4-3 ground out to Levi Jordan. Jordan making a good play on it. 66 degrees here in Palmer. It is cloudy. Sun trying to break through those clouds. First pitch is a strike to Trey Dawson. Kolek dealing right away. He's getting into a groove. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on that latest delivery to Trey Dawson. Dawson now going to step out of the batter's box, perhaps trying to break up that little bit of groove that I was talking about with Stephen Kolek. We'll see if it seems to do the job. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is high, 1-2. And once again, Trey Dawson with a good strategy steps out of the batter's box one more, rearranges the gloves, and now steps back in. And as soon as he steps back in, Kolek gets the signs, and now he fires away. That one a close pitch, but just outside, says Marcus Dolan, and I will agree with him on that one. It's going to run the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes apiece. 2 out here in the inning for the Oilers. They have nobody on. Kolek winds the 2-2 outside about the same location, and the count runs full. Once again, Trey Dawson steps out of the batter's box, trying to break up that little bit of rhythm with Kolek. Just throw a strike at him here. Kolek challenged the man. He gets the signs, fires away the 3-2. And it was, yes, it was! Dawson dropped the bat. He was headed for first. No, you don't, says Marcus Dolan. You're going to head out to the field, young man. That is strike 3. So another 1-2-3 inning for Stephen Kolek. We head to the bottom half of the third. It's the Miners 1, the Oilers 0 here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. So it's the designated hitter, Jacob Huey, leading things off here in the Miners' third inning. Miners currently with the lead, 1-0 here over the Oilers, game 1 of the top of the World Series. Montgomery's still on the bump. Here's his delivery. That one low and in the dirt for ball 1. Huey grounded out to third in his first at-bat. That was back in the first inning. He is the leadoff man tonight for the Miners. And here's the 1-0 pitch to him. He's taking that one downstairs again for ball 2. Jacob Huey lately, if you do see his name in the lineup, it's typically going to be in that leadoff spot with the letters DH right next to him. Montgomery having trouble throwing strikes here early on in the bottom of the third. And that one hacked at. It was a good hack by Jacob Huey. Regardless, he fouls it back, and the count now 2-1. Media manager Josh Grissom delivering the M&Ms here in the booth. M&Ms, cotton candy. What else do we get from time to time? Pretzels. We actually got the pretzel when Sharpley was in the booth with us. He took a couple bites at it. Is this going to be a bloop single? You betcha, folks. A leadoff single here for the Miners in the bottom of the third inning. Second inning in a row that the leadoff man reaches. And what do you know? It's Jacob Huey. That's why head coach Ben Taylor has him leading off the ball games. He could get things going. A little bit of a spark plug. And here we go. Another spark plug coming out to the plate. That's the second baseman, Levi Jordan. He was a 300-plus hitter this summer for the Miners. To be exact, he hit .318 over the summer, 9 two-baggers, 22 RBIs. Montgomery is going to have to come out of the stretch. Jordan shows bunt. It's a good one. Montgomery now racing for it. The flip to first, and they are going to get him. That is a 3-1. Check that, a 1-3. Let's flip that one. 1-3 ground out, or sack bunt, actually, for keeping score at home. That is going to move Huey into scoring position, so a good sack bunt by Levi Jordan. Ben Taylor, as he's been doing all season long, opting to go with the small ball. So you get a runner in scoring position here in this situation, and you have one of your best contact men up. That's Garrison Schwartz. Garrison Schwartz in the top half of this inning made a great diving catch. That was on Alex Seifert. Alex Seifert led off the top of the third for the Oilers, sent it out over to right field. Garrison was on the move in the groove and made a good diving catch. Here he is now. The count's 0-1 on him with one out, and he's going to chop this one foul. So the count now is 0-2 on Schwartz. Jacob Huey still over at second. Donnie Baseball, Michael Donadio in the on-deck circle, and Jake Scudder is in the hole if it gets that far. Marcus Dolan reminding Montgomery of the count, flashing the 0-2 signs. Montgomery now is going to step off. Seems like anytime a runner is in scoring position, Montgomery is very wary. Seems like he doesn't want to give up any runs here. Regardless, he's already surrendered one. Well, Huber's setting up outside. That's where he gets it, but a little too far outside, says Dolan. Count now moves to 1-2. Jordan taking his lead. Check that. That is Huey taking his lead over at second. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Montgomery's delivery. Swung on and missed, strike three. So Schwartz will head on back. And now it is all up to Michael Donadio for the time being to play Jacob Huey, who's at second. He led off this inning with a leadoff single. It was a bloop single in between Trey Dawson and Brody Wooford, the shortstop and the left fielder for the Oilers. Donadio reached base via the base on balls. His first at bat, that was just an inning ago. We await the first pitch to him. And here we go. Donadio swings through that one for strike one. One thing's for sure, especially last inning, the Miners are making Montgomery work a little bit. It was a very quick 7-pitch 1-2-3 inning from Montgomery in the first. But then last inning, sending 6 batters up to the plate. This time so far 4. That one inside on Donadio. They're going to throw it over second, and they are not going to get Jacob Huey. I thought at first that ball possibly could have been thrown away, but a good job by shortstop Trey Dawson to hustle on over to it and make sure the ball didn't reach center field. If it did, I doubt that Huey would have gotten up from his slide and broke for third. But regardless, a slight risky play there by Jared Huber, the catcher for the Oilers. It's a 1-1 count on Michael Donadio. A look over to second. Here's the pitch now from Montgomery. Outside, 2-1. Montgomery having a little bit of trouble against Donadio. We mentioned Donadio with that walk back in the second. It was an 0-2 count on Donadio, and then he worked the count full before eventually drawing the walk. Now we have a 2-1 count on Donnie Baseball. And here's the delivery from Montgomery. That one does paint the corner, so we'll even up the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the third inning, the Miners lead by a score of 1-0. That's Jacob Huey, the designated hitter, on second. Huey taking his lead. Montgomery gets the signs, and now he comes set. The delivery, this one is slapped over to third. That's Alex Seifert, who picks it up. It's a routine play. A nice pick over there by Jonathan Washam at first base, and that is going to retire the side. The Miners, no runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We now head to the top of the 4th inning here. You listen to Matsu Miners Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Jonathan Washam, tonight's first baseman for the Peninsula Oilers, leads things off here in the top of the 4th inning. He takes first pitch strike. Washam reached base via a single, his first at-bat back in the 1st inning. And the 0-1, that is going to be outside. Even up the count at 1 here. Outfield straight up normal depth. Same can be said for the infield. Kolek rocks at the mound. Here's the 1-1. That is chopped foul. So Kolek getting ahead in the count here to the first batter. And you got to like what you see there. So far, there have been 2 men to reach base on Stephen Kolek. That's the man at the plate and the man in the on-deck circle, Jonathan Washam, and then Seth DeWitt. 1-2 the count here. Here's the delivery from Kolek. This one hit into center field, but we got a speedy man there by the name of Brooks Stotler, who trails back a couple steps and makes the catch for out number 1. Jonathan Washam is retired, and he's a good hitter for the Oilers. It's good to see him head back to the dugout, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt. And Dr. K's Pediatric Dentistry is a beautiful brand new state-of-the-art dental office in friendly and convenient Palmer, especially designed for children. Your child's comfort and safety is their top priority. Check them out online at matsumoose.com or call 745-KIDS. That's 745-5437. First pitch to Seth DeWitt. He takes all the way, and it's right down Broadway. 0-1 the count on him. Seth DeWitt, he drew a walk in his first at-bat. And the 0-1 to him, way outside. Cosgrove with a good pick. And that's going to even up the count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're in the top of the 4th inning here. Dan Collins alongside Jordan Swick here on the call. Kolek's delivery. That one's downstairs, 2-1. Seth DeWitt stepping out of the batter's box. A similar strategy that Trey Dawson, the shortstop, had just an inning ago. Kolek is working quickly here. So they're trying to break up his rhythm. The 2-1 downstairs, 3-1. Cosgrove now stepping up and letting Kolek know to settle it down a little bit. So far has been so good. 3-1 the count, 1 out. You don't want to leave Seth DeWitt anything hanging here. Seth DeWitt chops at that one. It's going to go foul, and that runs the count full. Brody Wofford, the left fielder for the Oilers, on deck. If you're just joining into the broadcast, welcome aboard. It's going to be a fun ride. Game 1 of the top of the World Series. It's a best-of-3 series here. First team to 2 games. They could call themselves the champions. 3-2 pitch, chopped over to Armenta, and thankfully foul. Armenta, who does have an absolute hose over there at third, was going to have to show it off in order to get Seth DeWitt out. Seth DeWitt, not the fastest runner by any means on this Oilers team, but it still would have been a tough play to make. Instead, the count just remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Seth DeWitt. Payoff pitch outside, and for the second AB in a row, Seth DeWitt is going to draw a walk. Bring up Brody Wofford, who hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice to end the first inning. He bats from the left-handed batter's box. Levi Jordan and Josh Bissonette playing at double play depth, hoping to turn the inning-ending double play. This one is hit over to Levi Jordan, and he can't make the turn to second. He knocked it down, had a little bit of trouble fielding that one. So instead, he is going to just get the out at first. Luckily for the Miners, they do at least get 1 out. It was close to being an inning-ending double play. Instead, it's a 4-3 ground out. Levi Jordan thinking perhaps a little too quickly about that turn there. He did have plenty of time. It was hit sharply to him. If he just wanted to take a breather and toss it over to second, he could have. Regardless, it's just a 4-3 putout, and Seth DeWitt reaches second base. So Kolek is going to have to dig a little deeper here now if he wants to get out of this inning unscathed. You get this man out here in Jeff Chaperon, and you can head back to the dugout with still a 1-0 lead. Come on, Kolek, dig deep, buddy. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike one. It's going to even up the count at 1. 2 outs here in the inning. Good little crowd here on hand at Herman Brothers Field. And it's what you would expect. The sun peeping out from those clouds a little more now. 1-1 taken all the way. They're going to throw over to second, and they will not get the runner Seth DeWitt. Count now 1-2 on Jeff Chaperon. That latest pitch was a strike. They have yet to put up on the scoreboard. There we go. 1-2 count showing now at the scoreboard here at Herman Brothers Field. Scoreboard over there in right center, right behind the 3:45 mark. So we have ourselves a 1-2 count with 2 outs. And here's the pitch to Chaperon. On the outside part of the plate, Marcus Dolan is going to call that one a ball. And here we go. Deuces Wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. To the number 6 hitter and second baseman, Jeff Chaperon. It is Seth DeWitt over at second base. He takes his lead. It's a good lead. And he's going to be off perhaps on this pitch. No, it's Andy Cosgrove who's calling time. Has to wipe something out of his eyes there. And as a catcher, you definitely want to be able to see what's going on. You're one of the most important, if not the most position players here. So it's a 2-2 count on Chaperon. Kolek comes out of the stretch. Still with a long look over there at Seth DeWitt. And now he's going to step off and make sure DeWitt gets back to the bag. So Kolek toes the slab again. He pitches from the first base side of the rubber. And here he comes. That one not swung on, and Seth DeWitt a little far off second base. If Cosgrove handled that one cleanly, he perhaps could have fired it down there and maybe, just maybe, have gotten Seth DeWitt out. But regardless, that's not the case. What is the case is a 3-2 count with 2 outs here on Jeff Chaperon, and Seth DeWitt still at second base. Kolek getting the signs. This is a big pitch here. What are we going to have here in the payoff? It's going to be downstairs. That is going to be the second walk of the inning for Stephen Kolek, and he'll put runners at first and second, and up comes Daniel Speak.
Right field number 28, Daniel Speak.
Daniel Speak bats from the left side of the dish. Andy Cosgrove out now having a little bit of a chit-chat with his pitcher, Stephen Kolek. Stephen Kolek has been dealing all day. Almost got out of this inning with a 4-6-3 double play. Instead, it was just a 4-3 ground out, which got Brody Wofford out. But if there's something Kolek's telling me, something, look, buddy, we got 2 men on. They both reach base via the base on balls. If we get one more out here, we can head back to the dugout feeling good and still with the lead. Don't want to surrender the lead here. It's the right fielder, Daniel Speak. Kolek gets the signs. Josh Bissonette playing Seth DeWitt closely over there at second. And here's the pitch. That one is grounded over to Levi Jordan. This is a routine play. He's going to vacuum it up, throw it over to first for the out. So a good job there by Stephen Kolek after he allows the second man to reach. He gets the next man out on one pitch, and we now head to the bottom of the 4th inning here. The Miners lead 1-0. You're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Definitely. The PA announcer was one of the broadcasters gracious enough to give me a great introduction, but definitely felt my heart beating facing Josh because he's never a easy opponent.
And we apologize. Apparently, we were having a little bit of audio difficulties. We are reading the audio here now, so we'll go over this once again. It is Dan Collins in the booth, once again joined by the good luck charm, Kevin Christopher and Josh Grissom. If you did happen to miss that part, and we are getting word now that we are back again on air, a little bit of technical difficulties. Kevin Christopher walked into the booth, and bloop, it was a leadoff single by Jake Scudder. Josh Bissonette bunts him over to second with a sacrifice bunt, and now we have a base on balls here. The second walk of the day for Angelo Armenta, and basically what they were talking about is how, Kevin, you got to face Josh both in high school and the collegiate level here in the ABL during the Legion game. You ran out back, got your baseball clothes out of the dryer. They needed an extra man, and they went to you.
Yeah, he was like, well, we need you to warm up, guys, and I'll put you in the fifth inning. And I wound up going out there. It was like I played here at high school, but it was kind of like a dream come true, like playing in a game. I remember coming up to bat, and I'm like, don't get behind it, Josh Grissom. Don't get behind Josh Grissom. If I had a split finger, and your life's going to be awful. And that's the only thoughts going through my head the entire time.
Now, what did your father, general manager Pete Christopher, what did he have to say after the game about you facing his own team?
He was laughing. Like he was just kind of laughing. He's like, I didn't think you were going to play. I'm like, neither did I. But he played in the game once. Fun fact.
Really?
Oh yeah, he suited up against, I think it was the Anchorage Adult League team.
Okay.
And that was you think this place erupts when there's a lot of people? When he got walked, and that was a huge ovation.
I want more on that story. Dan, it sounds like we have some investigating to do tonight.
Well, he used to play up in the adult leagues in Anchorage when he was up here when he met my mom. But he played in a minors game, and it was very fun to watch.
That is one awesome fun fact. And in case you couldn't catch that, with Kevin Christopher facing the minors during when he was facing Josh at that time, that's what we asked him just a moment ago when I believe we were off air. Grissom was saying that this is third go-around, ladies and gentlemen, with the minors in the top of the World Series. The first two go-arounds was as a player. The team came up short, finished in second place, and Josh was saying how this is the most nervous he's ever been now with his PR duties here with the ball club.
Yeah, when you're a player, you get to be a part of the clubhouse. You know the environment that these guys are in and kind of the mindset and the approach that they're taking to a playoff game. When you're on this side of the fence, you don't really get to see that. And so you show up to the ball field and you're nervous, even though the players might be loose after playing some two-ball and watching some Family Feud. So much different storyline this time around, and definitely the most nervous I've been for the outcome of a baseball series.
We have a 2-1 count on catcher Andy Cosgrove. Angelo Armenta is at first. He walked. And Jake Scudder singled. And just a little while ago, when we were talking about all these nice little rendezvous, there was a mound visit. Justin Montgomery with the mound visit here trying to calm him down. So that's good signs when you can see a pitching coach out there trying to calm down Montgomery. Because up until this point, Montgomery has basically had the Miners' number. This one's a chopper over to third. And that is going to be Seifert, who steps on the bag over to first, and it is a ending double play. So that will bring us to the fifth inning here at Herman Brothers Field. It's the Miners 1, the Oilers 0. Listen, Matsu Miners playoff baseball here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Top of the 5th inning here at Herman Brothers Field. Game 1 of the top of the World Series. Dan Collins still joined by Kevin Christopher, Josh Grissom here on the call. It is the catcher Jared Huber who fouls that one back.
It was not a foul ball. It hit the plate and then ran off Andy Cosgrove.
Okay, that's what I figured. So it's 1-0 the count here. I had to duck down and see that. The ball is still sitting there on the netting.
We had a pitcher last year throwing out Mulcahy.
This one is hit right back up the middle. It's going to be a leadoff single here for the catcher Jared Huber in the top of the 5th. The first time this ball game that the Oilers have had their leadoff man reach base. So Kolek is going to now have to pitch out of the stretch to third baseman Alex Seifert.
Well, key here is not to get, like I said, not to get out of your head. You got to stay focused, stay on the batter, keep a little bit eye on the runner. But in this game, the way this base is going, it's the first person to make a mistake that's going to be the change of this game. So
they're showing a sack bump. Kolek having a hard time getting to that one. And Levi Jordan doing a job there. So the first 2 men aboard here for the Oilers. And I would expect maybe another sacrifice bunt would be in play with the leadoff man and speedy center fielder Darius Hill coming up to the plate. We will wait and see.
I think we're having a mound visit here from Matt Greeley.
And it is the Flash, Matt Greeley, and the rest of the Matsu Miners infielders coming in. Going to have a little chit-chat, talk over the game plan, perhaps guess what the Oilers are going to do. It's Jared Huber on second. He led off this ball game with a single. Alex Seifert reaching out what they are showing to be a hit on the scoreboard. I would have to agree with that one.
Well, definitely. I don't know about the maybe the bunt because they got one of their best hitters up right now, so they might be swinging away. We'll see.
Yeah, so they're going to have to run through all the scenarios. Darius Hill is the second best hitter on the team if you are looking at batting average. He ended the summer conference play batting .222, 3 doubles, 2 triples, no home run, but did drive in 13 runs, drew 4 walks, struck out 14 times. He does have 13, or check that, I'm sorry. He does have 1 sacrifice fly, 3 sacrifice bunts.
I was going to say 13 sacrifices. And
no. He has 13 sacrifice bunts on this three. I'm all nervous up here in the booth, all rattled.
Oh, no. The feeling is mutual throughout this stadium right now.
So every Miner fan in attendance paying close attention. So far, this has been the toughest situation Stephen Kolek has been in on the mound. It is the top of the 5th. Miners lead 1-0. And indeed, they do show bunt on the first pitch. And that is going to be called a strike. They are saying that Hill took a hack at it. I'll agree with that one.
Definitely. If they can get him out without the base runners moving up, it's a huge situation.
And if Hill does try to lay down a bunt again and perhaps it goes foul, then you have an 0-2 count on Hill. He does foul this one. It's right back to Kolek. He's going to take the for sure out over at first. The runners move an extra 90 feet. They perhaps could have had the lead man at third base, that being...
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried laying down another bunt right now. I mean, do a safety squeeze. The moment the ball gets put down, the guy's going to be charging home. So we shall see. If we can get this batter to pop out or strike out or an out where runners do not advance, it'd be huge.
Armenta is playing at the cut of the grass at third. Same can be said for Scudder over at first base.
Josh over here with his stress ball. I wish I had one right now.
First pitch is going to be hit hard in the air to right field. This should get the job done. That's Garrison Schwartz, who's going to make the grab, throw it back on into the infield, and we have ourselves a brand new ball game. The score is knotted up at 1 apiece here off the sacrifice fly by the shortstop Trey Dawson. It's going to play Jared Huber. Alex Seifert also tagged on that play, and he moved on into third. So here we are, top of the 5th inning, brand new ball game. Score is 1 run apiece for the Oilers and the Miners.
Yeah, definitely need to get this out right here. Do not want to let them get ahead with Montgomery on the mound because that kid's a good pitcher. You don't want to give him a lead.
That one is high. And another thing, sure, the Miners did have the 1-0 lead, but you're going to have to do a little bit more work against any baseball team to feel extremely comfortable only 1 run scored by the Miners. You would imagine they have to score more runs in order to win this ball game. And here we are, 1-1. We're all tied up. This one is hit and fouled back. Count 1-1 now on the first baseman, Jonathan Washam.
If he can get through this batter without letting a run score, that's a huge, because this is the meat of their order right now. And Washam definitely not an easy out.
And it's also Seth DeWitt on deck. This one swung on and missed for strike 2. So a 1-2 count on Jonathan Washam, 2 outs. There is a runner at third. That's Alex Seifert. 1-1 the score here.
Doing all the superstitions right now, trying to send the good vibes.
It's a 1-2 pitch. Here it is. That one breaking ball.
No, just if he had let that go a little bit later, ball would have broken across the plate.
Deuces Wilder on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kolek getting the signs. He now comes set. Here's his delivery. That one a number, and it's going to be fouled
If
back.
Costco had caught that barehanded, I might have hurt some eardrums on this broadcast.
That would have been an interesting sight to see. Regardless, he came up empty-handed on trying to barehand that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs still to the number 3 man and first baseman for the Oilers, Jonathan Washam. Kolek gets the signs. He's set, and he delivers. That one check swing. He did not go around, so the count runs full on Jonathan Washam. Oilers able to tie things up here. Back-to-back singles in this inning, followed by a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly.
I think I'm tenser than last year, even like right now. Just
It's a very, very intense game here. And here is the pitch. This one popped up. Please say Jake Scudder has room. He should.
he's camping under it. He's got it.
And he makes the grab. So that is going to retire the side. The Oilers get 1 run on 2 hits, leave 1 man on. We are halfway done with this ball game. Heading to the bottom of the 5th. It's the Miners 1, the Oilers 1. Listen to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Center fielder Brooks Stotler leading things off for the Miners' 5th. He is 0 for 1 on the night, a ground out to second back in the 2nd inning. The pitch from Montgomery, Stotler shows that Brooks Stotler's special bunt attempt brings the barrel of the bat back in time. The count 1-0 on Brooks.
One thing I've noticed with Montgomery is when he gets behind on a batter, it's he struggles a little bit more than you would see with most other pitchers. I think that's the one thing I've seen that he's not been on top of is when he gets behind a batter, he kind of lets go a little bit.
Well, let's hope that's the case here. He fell behind here in the count to Stotler. 2 balls, no strikes. And here's the 2-0 pitch. Stotler showing bunt again. He
Get out,
pops
get
this
out,
one
get
up
out.
in the air. Huber's giving a chase, but he's not going to get to it in time. So 2-1 the count now on the center fielder, Brooks Stotler.
Dan, it's important for the Matsu Miners offense to respond here and to respond quickly because they don't want the game to drag out in a 1-1 tie because at that point it's going to feel like whoever scores next wins the ball game. So if the Miners can reclaim a run here and regain the lead, it would be huge for momentum.
We'll see what they could do. We are in the bottom of the 5th. Game tied up 1 apiece. The Miners with 1 run in the second. The Oilers, their run coming in the top half of this inning.
As Brooks fouls off that pitch, 2-2 count now.
Kevin, you said that with a nice deep breath. You're not nervous, are you?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm not, inching at the bit here. Heart rate at a solid 280.
2-2 the count here. To Brooks Stotler. Montgomery winds. He delivers. That one inside. The count runs full on Stotler.
The subtlety of this game is that the Oilers have lost a couple of their pitchers and their ace threw yesterday. So they're going to try and leave Montgomery out there for as long as they can. And if the Miners can run up his pitch count, there'll be a huge influence on how this game turns out.
Stotler's going to chop this one over to second. That's a Little League type play for Chaperon over there. He sucks it up on over to Washam for out number 1.
Kevin, you mentioned pitch count. Right now, Montgomery is at 63 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th. You can imagine him going at least 2 more innings, if not 3, if they really try and stretch him.
So that is why it is important, very important, for the Miners to get guys on, try to create big innings. Huey is first pitch hunting at that ball. He's going to chop it foul right past the arm of first base coach Joe Perez, who tried making a play on it in foul territory.
But definitely you also don't, like I said, you want to run a pitch out, but you also don't want to let, get caught up in that and let good pitches go by. And, that's the ever balance of baseball is trying to balance, play discipline with good selection, which go hand in hand, actually. So
it is a 1-1 count with a 1 out here to Jacob Huey. Nobody on. He takes that pitch all the way, and a good take there from Jacob Huey. Count now 2-1 on him.
But definitely, we've seen him get behind in counts a couple times now this inning.
Huey fouling that one back, so the count 2-2 on him now. And all you could hope for right now is a good at-bat by Jacob Huey. Hopefully he reaches. He's 1 for 2 on the night with a single. That single coming back in the 3rd inning.
Definitely, I feel this Miners lineup is going to figure this guy out. They've been struggle against him, but I feel like they are inching at the bit to try and, crack the shell of Montgomery.
Well, that's one thing we're talking about is even though he has had the Miners number, he has pitched against them a lot of times. He is 3-1 against them alone this season, comes in with a 1.54 ERA against the Miners. And you have to imagine sooner or later a couple of guys are going to get a good enough reach where they could get on base.
Definitely, and with at bats like this with Jacob Huey, you keep on fouling off those balls. It's frustrating as a pitcher. You're trying to get through in that bat, and this guy keeps on fouling off pitches. This guy keeps on fouling off pitches, and it's just frustrating. And that's these are the kind of at bats that get annoy a pitcher a little bit.
Also, Montgomery is trying to stay efficient. Oilers down on pitchers. They want him to go as long as he can. 2-2 to Huey, and what do you know? He fouls off another one. So a good AB here for the leadoff man, Jacob Huey.
As a former collegiate pitcher, I can tell you these types of battles really wear you down because you don't know what to do when you just keep throwing again and again and it keeps getting fouled off. Eventually, one of these times, Montgomery's going to miss.
Let's see if he misses here. It's the 2-2 pitch. This one grounded. He jammed Huey on that one. It's a ground ball over to short. Washam having to stretch out a little bit for that one, but regardless, it's going to be 6-3 ground out if you're keeping score at home. 2 up, 2 down here so far for the Miners in their bottom half of the 5th. It's going to bring up Levi Jordan, who is 0 for 1 on the night with a sacrifice bunt coming back in the 3rd inning. Levi Jordan with a home run against the Bucks a couple nights ago. That was the first game of the playoffs, Miners versus Bucks. They were victorious in that one. Connor Higgins with a good start on the mound. Angelo Armenta and Levi Jordan going yard in that victory.
Was
Jordan,
his team taking the first pitch rip? Oh, that's a good stab by the third baseman.
that was a good stab indeed by Alex Seifert. And for the second time tonight, the Miners go down 1-2-3. We now head to the top of the sixth. It's the Miners 1, the Oilers 1, here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. The designated hitter, Seth DeWitt, leading things off for the Oilers in the top of the sixth inning. Stephen Kolek on the mound in his sixth inning of work. If you look at the scoreboard, runs, hits, error columns identical. It is 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Oilers. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Miners. Dan Collins here alongside media manager Josh Grissom. We apologize if you couldn't hear, if we had audio difficulties again in the bottom of the fifth. Not sure if we did or did not. Receiving mixed words here. But however, here we are. Ready to go here. It is game 1 of the top of the World Series. Best out of 3. First team to 2. They're crowned champions. The 2-0 pitch to DeWitt. He sends that one foul. The Miners, they scored their run in the bottom of the second. The Oilers scored their run last inning in the fifth. Here we are in the sixth inning, and what do you know? It is a tightly contested game between the Miners and the Oilers. Always a pitcher's duel. This one hit in the air, right side. It's going to go foul, and yes, it is definitely out of play. No play to make for Scudder or Schwartz. Count remains 2-2.
Dan, we kind of talked about the importance of runs, especially in this game. And during the break, we both said how we feel like almost the next team that scores is going to have that huge momentum swing that just might carry them to the end of the game.
That one chopped foul once again. Count remains 2-2 on Seth DeWitt. And at this point, both pitchers are dealing. You're in the sixth inning. The longer and longer this game goes on, well, you know what? There's not many scheduled innings left. Baseball only goes 9. So the deeper you go, it almost seems as if that's going to be the case. Kolek tosses up the 2-2. That one is inside, nearly hits Seth DeWitt. Count runs full. The Miners spend their mornings lifting, running, and staying in shape by visiting the Alaska Club. Visit them in Anchorage, Eagle River, Fairbanks, Juneau, and the Matsu Valley, or you can visit www.thealaskaclub.com. Seth DeWitt is going to step out now. Kolek was ready to fire away that 3-2 pitch. You want to send down Seth DeWitt here. He's one of those good hitters. You want to get to the bottom part of this lineup and face some of the weaker bats. This one popped up. Is Cosgrove going to have a play? It looks like the answer is no. That one gets behind perhaps even the press box here at Herman Brothers Field. Count remains full on the Oilers' designated hitter. Dan Collins still on the call. Josh Grissom still messing with the stress ball. It's a close one here, 1-1. What else do you expect? Here's the payoff pitch from Kolek. That one is hit. Armenta, and he can't come up with it. DeWitt is not going to make a turn. That's a little surprising there. That one got past the reaching glove of Armenta, and luckily it is only going to be an infield single. The way that was looking, it perhaps could have been extra bases. Instead, DeWitt stays at first, and up comes the left fielder, Brody Wofford.
Armenta just trying to make a back pick on that play, did not have his glove low enough on the ground. It's kind of surprised. Actually, didn't ever actually get the glove near the ground at all, and the ball just kind of squirted underneath his glove, rolled to the outfield.
Wofford is showing bunt. That one is high, and he takes it back for ball one. So Oilers thinking the same thing that perhaps everybody else is thinking. The next run in this ball game, absolutely huge, and therefore that is perhaps why they're trying to sacrifice Seth DeWitt over to second. Wofford shows bunt again, but he draws it back. The count now 2-0. And at this point, perhaps you just want to give it on up. Let Wofford take a stab at it. Best case scenario, he pops it up or hits it, bunts it foul. At this point, you don't want to put him on. The count's 2-0. Let's not fall behind in the count anymore. The 2-0 pitch, here it comes. That one, he does take a stab at it, and he does bunt it foul. So that's good news.
It looks like he's targeting third baseman Angelo Armenta with that sac bunt, not only to make it a tougher play for him going to first base, but also maybe because of Armenta's last play, try and get in his head a little bit.
If that is the case, that is a good IQ to have. That's a good baseball IQ being shown by Brody Wofford. A throw over to first. DeWitt's back in sliding safely. There will be playoff baseball tomorrow. 1 p.m. afternoon start for the boys. Miners versus Oilers. Cosgrove now is going to step out. Have a walk over there on the mound. Talk things over with Kolick. Mick Vorhoff out of GCU warming up in the bullpen for the Miners. He's a good one. He's been solid for this ball club. Dolan is going to go break up the conversation and head back behind the plate now with Andy Cosgrove. Seth DeWitt is at first. He led off this inning with a single. 2-1 the count on Wofford. He's been showing bunt this whole sequence. Here's the 2-1. That one high for ball 3. So a dangerous position here for Stephen Kolick. He's behind in the count 3-1. Josh, I think at this point you kind of just throw one up in the strike zone and hope for the best.
Yeah, you don't want runners on first and second because you know they're just going to sacrifice bunt again.
There goes Seth DeWitt, and this one, Wofford took a hack at it, and he fouled it back. So 3-2 the count now, and that changes things up quite a bit here.
Yes, it does. Very interesting call there. I don't know if it was a hit and run because DeWitt did take off right away.
And perhaps they were thinking exactly what we were thinking. Kolick had to throw a strike, so why not any better chance to do the hit and run? Luckily, Wofford fouls it back, and a good throw over there by Kolick. We're getting late on. We're getting into the latter half of the ball game here. Top of the 6th. This game is knotted up at 1. Just joining into the broadcast. Welcome aboard. Another throw over to first. DeWitt's back in sliding safely. Perhaps now Kolick just trying to wear down Seth DeWitt, the base runner. He is the potential go-ahead run at first base. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. And here's the payoff pitch to Wofford. He's going to walk him. That one's outside. The first 2 men reach. Seth DeWitt is going to head on over to second. And Wofford's going to stroll on down to first base via the base on balls.
Well, we know it's coming. The sacrifice bunt. You have runners on first and second. No outs. Trying to get both runners in scoring position with no outs. And it looks like there will be another mound visit from pitching coach Matt Greeley.
And we are getting later in the game here. Mick Vorhoff, one of the better pitchers. We've seen him come in out of that bullpen and shut teams down. I wonder if after this, what we would expect is a sacrifice bunt. So let's say this plans out as a typical baseball game does, even though baseball is not your typical sport. Say he gets the sacrifice bunt down, and they do get the lead runner at first. That'll put runners at second and third with 1 out. Perhaps you go to Mick Vorhoff in that situation. You get Kolek out of this situation. You go to Vorhoff, and perhaps he picks you up a couple of strikeouts.
It's a tough position for a relief pitcher to come into whenever you have runners in scoring position, let alone it being a playoff game.
And, you feel for Kolek in this situation because he's been pitching phenomenal. But when you get into a pitcher's duel like this, you feel like you have to be perfect. You feel like you can't let any runs cross the board. And for this matter, you almost feel as if the next run might even be the game winner.
Yeah, any mistake in a game like this just gets compounded and just heightened.
It's Chaperon at the plate. Is he going to try to lay down the bunt? We expect that he is. He's showing bunt, takes a hack at that one, and he's going to foul it back for strike one. Best case scenario, unless you want to talk in terms of a triple play or anything like that, is Chaperon falls behind in the count 0-2, is forced to take a hack at it. You strike him out, pop him out, do whatever it is to get him out, keep the runners at first and second, then you still have the inning-ending double play intact. But you have to be tough on Chaperon. Josh Bissonette hustling over to second, but Kolek decides not to throw over, so he'll step on the rubber, give Bissonette an opportunity to get back in a good fielding position. 0-1 the count here on Jeff Chaperon. Seth DeWitt at second, Brody Wofford at first. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Chaperon showing bunt, and he fouls that one back. So, all right, Josh, once again, things get pretty interesting in this scenario.
Very. And it was huge momentum for Kolek there to get those 2 strikes on Chaperon just because now he's forced to hit. And unless he's 100% confident he can get the bunt down, he's got to find something to swing at.
We'll see if Kolek can make a good pitch here. It's an 0-2 count, nobody out, 2 men on. The delivery, Chaperon still showing bunt. It's going to be a good one. Kolek, he could get the lead runner at third, and he does. Good play there by Stephen Kolek. And it's a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice 1-5, and he gets the lead man at third base.
That was absolutely huge.
And how's about, I know that's pretty routine. Had Kolek have thrown it away there, we would have, oh boy, that would have been rough. But even though that was so routine, it still takes a lot to be able to come up with it, settle your nerves, and get a good enough throw over to third base, and that's exactly what happened for Stephen Kolek.
Yes, and as a pitcher, you feel rushed to get that runner because it's not like you're going to first on that play where the guy doesn't have a jump. This runner had a jump and knew what was coming.
And they are going to call a balk on Stephen Kolek, and boy, that's rough because now that moves runners into second and third. So after making a great play, getting the lead man out, it still doesn't work in the Miners' favor. The balk is called. The runners advance an extra 90 feet, and that puts runners on second and third here with 1 out. A sacrifice fly could take the lead, and the Miners are going to opt to intentionally walk Daniel Speak. They'll put him on. They'll put the inning-ending double play intact. It's Jared Huber, the catcher on deck, who's going to roam up to the plate. And when he reaches, it's going to be bases loaded, only 1 out. So the intentional base on balls. And we will see what the Miners opt to do here. Are they going to stay with Stephen Kolek in the top of the 6th inning with 1 out, bases loaded, 1-1 ball game? Or are they going to choose to go with Mick Vorhoff, who is currently warming up in the bullpen and probably ready at this point, I would think. And, unfortunately, that was a balk there, Josh. But I like the idea of just going ahead and putting Speak on, load the bases. You have the inning-ending double play intact. And here's the skipper, Ben Taylor. He's roaming out to the mound. And, boy, I got to tell you, you have to tip your cap to Stephen Kolek, who has pitched a dandy here so far. He's going to exit the ball game after going 5 1/3 innings. Sure, he loads the bases up here in the 6th, but you hope the next man on, Mickey Vorhoff, can get the job done. We'll tell you a little bit more about Mickey Vorhoff when we come back after this break. Listen to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, well, we are here in the top of the 6th inning. The bases are loaded for the Oilers. The game is tied 1-1. There is 1 out and a new pitcher on the hill. It's Mick Vorhoff out of GCU. First pitch swing and a miss for strike 1. Mickey Vorhoff has been absolutely solid, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, out of the pen for the Miners. He is a good one. We'll get you the stats on him following this 0-1 pitch. Vorhoff coming set. Here is the no, he's going to step off and he's going to want to relay. No, he's going to want Cosgrove actually to step out. So while Cosgrove goes out for that mound visit, we'll give you the stats on Mickey Vorhoff for the season. This summer in conference play during the regular season, he pitched in 16 games, had 1 start, in his 28 1/3 innings of work, gave up 16 hits, 7 runs, 5 were earned, 5 walks, 20 strikeouts, comes in with a record of 0-3, but an ERA of 1.59. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, and Mick Vorhoff is going to now have to step off the bump because Jared Huber, the catcher, called for time. This game as nerve-wracking as anybody would have imagined. The 0-1 from Vorhoff. That is way outside. A good pick right there by Andy Cosgrove, because if that one gets past him, Oilers lead this ball game. Instead, we're still tied, 1 apiece. Strap it in, folks. We're going to go for a ride. Mick Vorhoff comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that one is foul. So now the count 1-2 here on the catcher, Jared Huber. Huber is 1 for 2 on the night. He has a single, and he scored the Oilers' only run back in the 5th inning. Marcus Dolan behind the dish, flashing the 1-2, letting Vorhoff know that it is a 1-2 count. Vorhoff comes set. Here we go. That one grounded over to Josh Bissonette. He turns it 6-4, 3 inning-ending double play.
What a play by the Miners defense there. Absolutely superb.
Woo!
Exactly what they needed to get out of that inning.
All right, well, we're going to exhale up here in the broadcast booth. We now head to the bottom of the 6th. Mickey Vorhoff, you do your thing, young man. He's getting a lot of claps there before he goes into the dugout, and he absolutely deserves it. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning here. We're tied up at 1 run apiece. You're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, so we exhaled a couple times here in the broadcast booth. Bottom of the 6th inning here. 1-1 the score. Game 1 of the top of the World Series between the Miners and the Oilers. Montgomery's first pitch is sent in the air, and as the center fielder Darius Hill settles under it, makes the out, makes the grab for out number 1. Donadio and Scudder now due up for the Miners here. Bissonette, Armenta, Cosgrove, Stadler if it gets far enough. Miners seeking the second run of the ball game for themselves. If the Miners could put up just one here, it will give them the lead. This ball game is all knotted up. First pitch from Montgomery. Going to be called a strike on the left fielder, Michael Donadio. He's 0 for 1 on the night, reached base via a walk in his first plate appearance back in the second. Fouls that one off. The count very quickly 0-2 on him now. An inning-ending 6-4-3 double play is what ended the Oilers' sixth inning. They had bases loaded with one out at that time. Mick Vorhoff relieving Stephen Kolek. And he did exactly what we could have asked for. That 1-2 pitch low inside on Donadio. Count now 2-2 on him.
Guys, Mick Vorhoff has done this all season long, and honestly, it's great to see him not lose a beat.
That one is going to be strike 3 on Michael Donadio. So quickly 2 up, 2 down here for the Miners. And Jake Scudder here, one of the things you can ask for is just a lengthy at-bat from him now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's the only Miner here today with multiple base hits. And Dan, you and me were talking about before Scudder made his first plate appearance. We were like, this is the time where he needs to go off. This is the absolute best time. And, you know, he has 2 of the 3 base hits here today. Hopefully we're going to be looking at another one.
This one, it is a chopper over to Chaperon at second. That's a routine play for him to make. It's a 4-3 ground out. If you're keeping score at home, we're going to head to the 7th inning here at Herman Brothers Field. The Miners won. The Oilers won. And you're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Top of the 7th inning we go. Miners won, Oilers won here in Game 1 of the Top of the World Series. Mick Vorhoff on the hill for the Miners here. Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Cipher. Mentioned Vorhoff came in relief for Stephen Kolek. Just an inning ago and produced a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Kolek was responsible for all 3 men on base. This one, it's going to be hit through the hole and past the diving glove of Josh Bissonette for a leadoff single here in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, Dan, we'll see if they come through again with another sacrifice bunt attempt from Darius Hill.
Darius Hill is the man at the dish right now. Left-handed bat versus the right-handed arm. Kolek's night is done. He went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run was earned, 5 walks, 1 K. He did the best that he can do, only allowed the 1 run. Can't ask for much more. Hill does lay down the bunt. Vorhoff has a play at second. He gets it over there, and they don't get him at first, but they do get the lead man. Whew! That's been... What is it with getting the lead runners here in this ball game tonight?
You know, Dan, we've talked periodically about the Miners' defense coming through some big plays, but today they're absolutely coming through in crucial situations to keep Matsu in this ball game and to keep things tied up. And to get the lead runner there was absolutely pivotal, because instead of having a runner scoring position with one out, they now only have a guy at first base, and a double play can end this inning.
You have to be cautious about Darius Hill over at first base. He could run, and what do you know? There it is. Mick Vorhoff throwing over to first. Keeping Darius Hill on his toes there. Hill has taken his lead. Dawson now stepping back into the batter's box. Mick Vorhoff is getting the signs. Mickey V comes set. He delivers. That one a good breaking pitch for strike one in this sequence. It's an 0-1 count here on Trey Dawson. The Oilers shortstop. Here's the pitch. That one, a good one. Cosgrove did the best he could to try to frame it in the strike zone. No, says Marcus Dolan. The count now 1-1 with one out and a runner at first. And 1-1 the score here at the ballpark. Vorhoff comes, sets. Here we go. That one right down Broadway, but I guess it was below the knees was the call. The only thing I could think is Dolan said that one was a little too low. So a 2-1 count now on Trey Dawson. Infield, double play depth. Vorhoff with another throw over to first. Good job by him. And Darius Hill is backsliding in safely. Seifert led this off with a single. Hill tried to bunt him over. Good play by Vorhoff. He was able to get the lead man with a 1-6 fielder's choice. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And a good one there by Vorhoff. We needed a good one, and that's a good call by Marcus Dolan, because the difference between 3-1 and 2-2, well, I don't even have to explain anymore, folks.
Dawson upset with himself for not swinging at that pitch. Reacted almost immediately after the call was made, shaking his head to himself, and looks like perhaps a little frustrated out there.
There goes Hill. It's a strike him out. The throw to second. They got him! It is a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the Oilers' seventh. Let's get up. Let's exhale. Let's stretch here at the ballpark. It is going to be take me out to the ball game time as we head to the bottom of the seventh inning. We're still tied up at 1 apiece here at Herman Brothers Field. You're listening to Matsu Miners postseason baseball on your Matsu Miners radio network. Josh Bissonette leading things off here for the Miners in the bottom of the seventh inning. 1-0 the count on him. Justin Montgomery out for his seventh inning of work. He's only given up one run. What else is new? Hopefully the boys could get to him here. Game one, crucial in a best-of-3 series. 1-1 the count here on Josh Bissonette now. We are through 6.5 innings of play. That pitch to Bissonette, he takes all the way. The count now 1-2 on him. And what you have to do in this scenario is try to work Justin Montgomery out a little bit. As soon as he exits the ball game, it'll be the last time you see him all season. Montgomery tosses up the 1-2. Bissonette a swing and a miss. It was in the dirt. Huber's going to have to throw it to first to make that out official. He does. And Bissonette goes down swinging to start off the Miners' 7th inning.
Now batting, your third baseman, number 4, Angelo Armenta.
It'll bring the third baseman, Angelo Armenta, up to the plate. He doesn't have an official at-bat tonight. He has reached base twice via the base on balls. He sends this one right back where it came from, and is going to be a base hit right back up the middle. So a good job by Angelo Armenta, not only to reach base here for the Miners, but to finally break up that little bit of a groove that Justin Montgomery had going. He had an inning-ending double play in the 4th inning, and then had a 1-2-3 inning in both the 5th and 6th innings. So you finally break up that groove that he had going on, and up to the plate comes the catcher, Andy Cosgrove.
Yeah, he set down 8 in a row before that hit by Angelo Armenta, so that's definitely what you want to see here if you're the Matson Miners.
Andy Cosgrove hits this one over to short. They're going to get the lead man in Armenta to throw over to first. Not in time. The ball actually gets away. I actually thought that Cosgrove beat the throw. Polk was making sure that Washington didn't handle the ball. Regardless, I think Cosgrove would have been safe either way. But it is a fielder's choice, 6-4, and over to first base. Now is Andy Cosgrove, and if your car needs a new tail light or just any sort of nut bolt or screw, be sure to visit the Valley's locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts. They're in Big Lake, Palmer, and Wasilla. Visit www.napaalaska.com. Stotler shows bunt, brings it back. The count 1-0 on him. Alaska State Fair is what the day at the park is. That is the day of the park spotlight, Alaska State Fair. Roxy Mayberry, who was corporate partnerships director for the Alaska State Fair, with an awesome rendition of the national anthem prior to first pitch. 2-0 to Stotler. He's going to drag a bunt. Is Montgomery going to get there in time? He is, and he won't be able to flip it over. So the Brooks Stotler special. The count was 2-0, and Brooks Stotler, he's been trying to lay that Brooks Stotler special down all game, and he sticks with it, even here with 2 outs, and it gets the job done. He gets an infield single that is going to move Cosgrove over to second, and up to the plate, designator Jacob Huey. The boys getting something brewing here. 2 Miners are on the bags. That's Brooks Stotler at first, Angelo Armenta at second.
See, Brooks Stotler was trying to bunt his way on. He wasn't trying for the sacrifice with 1 out. So he did exactly what he was asked to do, and he did it.
Huey hits this one over to second. Chaperon is going to go the easy way. Dawson looked as almost if he was going to relay it over to first. He did not, because that fielder's choice 4-6 ends the Minor 7th. So to the 8th inning, we will go. It is the Oilers 1, the Miners 1 here at Herman Brothers Field. You listen to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. We are in the top of the 8th inning. It is the first baseman, Jonathan Washam, who leads things off with a grounder over to third. Armenta up with it. The throw is off the mark, and Scudder cannot put the tag on him. It was a hard throw for Armenta to make. He threw it over to first. The throw took Scudder off the bag. He tried applying the tag. Brad Polk said it missed him. Head coach Ben Taylor is out to have a quick conversation about it, and the umpires will meet about this one. They're going to huddle on up and see if perhaps Washam was out.
From our view, it kind of looked like Scudder did miss the tag, but at the same time, I don't think that he touched the bag right away, the batter runner.
Yeah, and they're saying he's safe, and I would imagine Ben Taylor does appreciate the umpiring crew meeting on that one. I would almost expect every single ump would have had to say out in order for that to have been overruled. So the call stands, and it's a leadoff. Well, leadoff man is on, but it's not a single. It is an E5. And that is going to be how the Oilers' top of the 8th inning starts. Mickey Vorhoff still on the bump. And here is Seth DeWitt, who was 1 for 1 with 2 doubles. He has reached base every single time for the Oilers tonight. Going to see what Mickey Vorhoff does in order to try to make that not the case this time around. The first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Dan Collins here on the call. Alongside Jordan Swick, we've had the general manager's son, Kevin Christopher, up in the booth. We've had media manager Josh Grissom trying to get some good mojo working here. The 1-0 count to DeWitt. Here's the pitch. He takes that one all the way for a strike. We were talking about how it's Alaska State Fair night at the ballpark. They're going to have the Fair's 80th anniversary commemorative poster by Alaska artist Ruth Hilbert. That is what is the cover of this year's guide. It features that commemorative poster. It's quite a nice looking one. It's almost like looking at, what do they call those things, a kaleidoscope?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what it is. Yes, 80th anniversary, 1936, all the way up to the current day, 2016, the Alaska State Fair. We are just behind the Alaska State Fairgrounds. This one, it's a grounder to short. It's a routine double play. Take your time, boys. 6-4-3, they go around the horn, and it is a double play. So the first time Seth DeWitt is retired, it is a much, much needed 6-4-3 double play. Whew. So we exhale again in the booth. Just keeps going on and on and on. The wheels are turning here. If you want to be informed about the Alaska State Fair, you can go to alaskastatefair.org. That concert is going to feature Home Free, ex-ambassadors, the Congos. They're a good one. Hey, the Congos. The reserved area for the Congos is $45. They're also going to have the band Perry there. Reserved area for them, $75. Cheech and Chong, also special guest. You believe that? Hey, now. Well, you know it's legal up here now in Alaska. It's probably why Cheech and Chong are making the way down here. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. I'm Brody Wofford. G-Easy also. All right, I'll put the Alaska State Fair book down and get back to the call here for all the viewers at home. It's a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Brady Wofford at the dish. Check that. Brody Wofford, and it is a call. Strike 3 on him. Mick Vorhoff is wheeling and dealing out of the bullpen, ladies and gentlemen. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Miners 1, the Oilers 1. And you're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. So we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The game is tied up 1 apiece, and we have Levi Jordan, the second baseman, leading things off for the Miners. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for the Oilers. 1 run on 5 hits, 1 error for the Miners. Dan Collins joined alongside Jordan Swick here in the broadcast booth. Special thanks to everyone tuning in. Here's the 0-1 on Jordan. Swing and a miss, strike 2. You haven't been nervous at all today, have you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, of course not. I know everybody else has been
Keeping
very
your Joe
nervous,
cool?
but I'm trying to. I mean, right now, the Miners have a pretty good situation. They got their number 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up this inning, but right now, Levi Jordan down in the count 0-2. Hopefully, the Miners can get a couple guys on base and threat to score.
0-2 is chopped over to third base. Seifert, it's going to take a tough hop on him. The throw to first and safe. So Levi Jordan is going to lead things off here. The ball took a bad hop on Seifert. He was still able to come up with it. Levi Jordan beats the throw. So I imagine if that's going to be an error, it's going to have to be a fielding error. If not, it will be ruled an infield single. We await the verdict. And the verdict is an E5. So an E5 is the way we start off this Miners 8th inning. And I don't care what we rule it as long as Levi Jordan remains there at first. Here's Garrison Schwartz, the general, at the dish. Schwartzy's showing bunt. He hits it back toward the pitcher. Montgomery will go for the for sure out at first. So a good bunt there by the general. Good sack bunt, and that is going to move Levi Jordan an extra 90 feet. He is now in scoring position. Up comes Donnie Baseball, Michael Donadio.
This is where you know that you're getting late in the ball game because you just had the number 3 hitter, Garrison Schwartz, lay down a sacrifice bunt. He does not do that often because he's one of the most consistent at-bats here in the lineup and very not often enough do you have your number 3 guy bunt. So the Miners needing a very important run because arguably the next run to score would likely win the ball game.
Hey, it's a possibility. Anything can happen in the game of baseball, but from where we stand now, Michael Donadio took that first pitch. The count is 1-0 on him with 1 out. Levi Jordan is at second. It's a 1-1 game here. Justin Montgomery still on the hill. He's towing the slab for the Oilers. That one just catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. 1-1 the count now on Donadio. Come on, Donnie Baseball. Just one time. One swung on and chopped foul. So if Donnie Baseball wants to knock in Levi Jordan, he's going to have to do it with 2 strikes on him. Donadio is 0 for 2. He reached base via a walk back in the second. Jake Scudder, the first baseman on deck for the Miners. That's Levi Jordan at second. He has good speed. That one outside. The count now 2-2 on Donadio. And summer is the perfect opportunity to work on your golf game. The Palmer Golf Course is located right in the heart of Palmer, just about 2 miles from the beautiful Herman Brothers Field. Call 907-745-4653 for more information. Montgomery from the stretch. It's the 2-2 outside. It's a ball card by Dolan. That was a good call by the home plate umpire. He's had a pretty solid game behind the dish, has Marcus Dolan. The count runs full on Michael Donadio. Jake Scudder on deck, we mentioned. It's Josh Bissonette, the shortstop, in the hole. Activity up in the Oilers bullpen. I expect it is Andrew Bash. That one swung on and missed for strike 3. So Donadio is going to go down swinging here. There are now 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. A runner on second. It's Levi Jordan. Jake Scudder roaming up to the dish. Jordan already a couple times on the broadcast we mentioned. Jake Scudder did lead the league this summer in RBIs with 28. He led the team in home runs with 3. Didn't have the best batting average that he was going for this summer. Did draw a lot of base on walks. In fact, he led in that category for the majority of the year. But if there's any time for him to break out, this would be the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. He has 2 of the 5 hits for the Miners here today. And, you know, arguably none of them would come or would be more important than one right here, because you better believe that a ball hit to the outfield, as long as it's not hit directly out an outfielder, Ben Taylor might try to round him home.
The 1-0 pitch. Scudder hits this one in the air. Is it going to fall in front of Hill? It does. He's waving around Levi Jordan. Come on, Jordan. Come on, Jordan. The slide. He's safe. The Miners lead this ball game by a score of 2-1. Jake Scudder coming through in the clutch with a double. Attaboy, Jake Scudder, the league leader in RBIs with 28, delivers here for the Matsu Miners, and they take the lead. Levi Jordan scores the go-ahead run.
How about that? We were just talking about that. Nothing would be better than a base hit right here for Jake Scudder, and he did that here. And his third base hit of the game, he has half the hits, and it looks like the catcher, Jared Huber, is shaken up a little bit after the slide into home plate. Levi Jordan coming around to score the go-ahead run. We certainly hope he's okay behind the plate.
Absolutely.
But more on that play. That's incredible. With the way this game has been going, you just can't believe it.
It's just funny how we mentioned Jordan's going to be running on contact. Anything hit out to the outfield, Ben Taylor is going to wave him around. Levi Jordan had to kick it into high gear. Darius Hill with a good throw over to home. Levi Jordan was on his horse. He was hustling, and thankfully he got in there safely. And here we go. It is going to be the skipper for the Oilers, it seems. I believe that's Brian Daly coming out to the mound. And the night is done for Justin Montgomery. He pitched a whale of the ball game. I can't say any otherwise. He was absolutely phenomenal tonight. Absolutely fantastic for the Peninsula Oilers. He's going to exit here. He's responsible for the runner at second. And he's going to exit only giving up 1 earned run, 2 runs overall. The Miners still with the lead here. There's a new pitcher coming into the ball game, though, for the Oilers. And we're going to tell you all about him after we come back from this break. You're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball here. It's on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, well, Josh Bissonnette is going to make his way up to the dish, and a new pitcher finally on the bump now for the Oilers. It is the right-handed pitcher, Andrew Bash. Andrew Bash has been putting in a lot of work lately for these Oilers. His first pitch to Josh Bissonnette, it's going to be taken all the way for what I believe is a ball. Yes, it was. Okay, there also flashed that on the scoreboard. I was awaiting the call here. Andrew Bash, this is his 13th appearance. We'll check that. He appeared in a dozen. He appeared in a dozen games in the regular season. That does not include the postseason. If I remember correctly, he also appeared in that one. But regardless, he has 12 hits against him over the regular season in the summer. That is conference play. 7 runs, 3 of which were earned. 12 walks, 16 strikeouts. Comes in with a record of 1-2, but an ERA of 1.14. Jake Scudder at second. He hit the go-ahead RBI double off of Justin Montgomery. That one does catch the outside part of the plate for a strike. Justin Montgomery going 7 2/3 innings here tonight. He gave up those 6 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned. And here we are with Josh Bissonette up at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. Bissonette chops at that one, and it's going to be a foul ball. So the count remains 1-2 on Josh Bissonette. Miners take the lead for the second time this ball game. They got out to an early lead in the second inning, and they held the lead up until the top of the 5th. The Oilers tallied a run. And the 1-2 pitch here to Josh Bissonette. He moves out of the way of that one. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Josh Bissonette. Jake Scudder at second base for the Miners. Angelo Armenta, the switch-hitting infielder, is on deck. Jordan Floyd warming up in the bullpen for the Miners. The pitch to Bissonette. He sends this one right back up through the middle. Is BT going to wave Scudder around? Yes, he is. Scudder is heading to the plate. Here's the throw to the plate. Scudder slides. He's in there safely. And Josh Bissonette, back-to-back doubles. All right, it's a 3-1 ball game now. Attaboy, back-to-back doubles for the boys. And we now lead this game 3-1. Well, we're giving the fans something to cheer about, aren't we, Jordan?
We definitely are. You know, back-to-back RBI singles from Jake Scudder. That was the biggest one because that gave the Miners the 2-1 lead at the time. Josh Bissonette coming right back. You know, I thought it was a close play altogether, but it wasn't a hard enough hit ball to center field, and Jake Scudder didn't possess a lot of speed. But, you know, at this time in the game, why not? You already have the lead, but that's a huge insurance run. Huge if you're the Miners.
Absolutely. That was good to see there. It's a 1-0 count here now on Angelo Armenta, that latest pitch missing the strike zone. Armenta reached base in his first 2 plate appearances via the base on balls, and he singled just an inning ago. So he is 1 for 1 on the night. Andrew Bash comes out of the stretch. That one inside, and it does paint the outside part of the plate, says Marcus Dolan, for a strike. That evens up the count now on Angelo Armenta. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Andy Cosgrove, the catcher, on deck. Brooks Dollar, the center fielder, is in the hole if it gets that far. Bash will look over to second. He now delivers. That one is inside on Angelo Armenta. And the count now 2-1 on him. This is what you want to see. Let's hopefully the boys can get a little bit of a run going. Jordan, we don't get to see Justin Montgomery again this summer. How about that? Music to your ears?
That's definitely great news. Justin Montgomery has had the Miners' number, and you know the Miners were able to get to him 1 time. And here, I wouldn't necessarily say the Miners got to him. It was a very important.
It was important short runs. And, well, Jordan, that's a 4-3 ground out that is going to end the Matsu Miners' 8th inning. Not before they played 2 runners here in the bottom of the 8th. Those 2 runs giving them a 3-1 lead. As we now head to the top of the 9th inning, Big Boy Floyd is going to come on, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a short moment. You're listening to Matsu Miners Playoff Baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. All right, we are in the top of the 9th inning. The Miners have a 2-run lead. The score is 3-1. And on the bump now for the Miners, Big Boy Floyd. First pitch taken for a ball by the second baseman, Jeffrey Chaperon. Big Boy Floyd has been fantastic all season. In the summer, he had 20 appearances, pitched in 22 innings, 9 hits, 1 run and was earned, 10 walks, 24 punchouts. He had a record of 1-1, ERA of 0.41. He finds the strike zone with that pitch. Whew, that was good to see. Count now 2-1 on Jeffrey Chaperon.
It's important to note that the Miners lead by 2. They had a very important insurance run off the bat of Josh Bissonette last inning.
That one chopped over to Armenta. Take your time, Angelo. He does. And you don't want to start out this inning any other way than with an out, and that's exactly what we get here. It is a 5-3 putout if you are keeping the score at home. And that will bring up the right fielder, Daniel Speak, who was 0 for 2 on the night. He had an intentional walk back in the 6th. After that intentional walk, McVorhoff came in the game, bases were loaded, and he produced a 6-4-3 double play. So the first pitch to Daniel Speak, outside, it was taken all the way, ball 1. Defensive change here for the Miners. Cam Montgomery now in the game at right field, and Schwartz moves from right to left. Donadio now out of the game. So from left to right in the outfield for the Miners, it is Schwartz, Stotler, and Montgomery. Speak fouls that one off, so the count 1-1 on him. Dan Collins. I'm joined alongside my broadcast partner, Jordan Swick, up here in the booth. 1 out here in the 9th inning. No men on for the Oilers. They trail the Miners by a score of 3-1. The 1-1 pitch, taken all the way, 2-1. And one thing, I mean, we say it about every single pitcher on the Miners staff because their stuff is that good. One thing we want to see again is just Jordan Floyd, pound the zone. Attack him. You have good stuff. Let him beat you. This one is sent in the air. That's Brooks. Stotler had a good read on it. And that is out number 2 here in the 9th inning. So with 2 down, up to the dish is going to be a pinch hitter. And the pinch hitter is going to be Marshall Boggs. He is pinch hitting for the catcher, Jared Huber. Jared Huber on the night was 1 for 3. He hit into that inning-ending double play back in the 6th, a crucial one. He also singled and scored the Oilers' only run back in the 5th.
You have to wonder if catcher Jared Huber is okay. If you recall, just last inning, Levi Jordan slid into him, and he seemed to be a little bit shaken up on the play at the time, but he's not batting this time. Sure, he's in the bottom of the order, number 8, so obviously it could just be a pinch hit situation, but better numbers, but one has to wonder.
You heard the cheers a little while ago. That's because Boggs fouled that one off. Count now 1-1 on him. He comes in batting .219, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. The 1-1 to him, that is taken all the way, bounces in the dirt, 2-1 with 2 outs now. Come on, Jordan Floyd. He steps off the bump, does Big Boy Floyd, collecting his thoughts. Now he's going to head on back to the bump. Collect yourself, big man, and let's fire this one away and end this the right way. He pitches from the left side of the rubber, the third base side of the rubber. He delivers this one as a chopper. It's to Josh Bissonette. If he makes the play, we have a Game 1 winner, and we do indeed. Jordan Floyd picks up the save. You can credit Mickey Vorhoff with a much-deserved victory here tonight. And Justin Montgomery is going to pick up the loss. The Matsu Miners win Game 1 of the Top of the World Series by a score of 3-1. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have a lot of work to do. We need one more before we can reach the biggest goal of the season. So far, so good. That game will be tomorrow, a 1 p.m. scheduled start. Jordan, we did a whole lot of exhaling tonight, didn't we, bud?
Oh, man, what a performance by the boys here tonight. You know, we said that it would go down to the wire. It'd be very important to get this win. And what this win does is
It puts the Oilers' backs against the wall, and they don't have their big man Justin Montgomery anymore.
absolutely that forces the Oilers to win the doubleheader tomorrow to have a shot at winning the championship. The Miners have to, either win the first game or win the second. It doesn't matter which one. If you do that, the Miners are the ABL champs. But great effort here today by the Matsu Miners, as it's clear and it's obvious that they are some happy bunches.
Yeah, the boys are on the hunt for something big here, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you that that was one fun ball game. You could cue the Family Feud here at the ballpark, but we're not done yet. That's going to send us to the Napa Auto Parts postgame show. Jordan Swig is going to be joined alongside the skipper, Ben Taylor. I'll be joined alongside the player of the game, Jake Scudder, when we come back here after a short break on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Welcome back on your Auto Parts postgame show. I'm currently here with the skipper, Ben Taylor, and you have a sigh of relief now. Are you able to breathe?
Yeah, it was a good game, man. It was a highly contested ball game. I mean, the Oilers battle, dude, and they come at us, and that's a really good baseball team. And every pitch tonight on both sides was super contested, and they made some great defensive plays, behind Montgomery. And yeah, it was a good ball game. It was a tough ball game.
A go-ahead RBI single by Jake Scudder in the bottom of the 8th inning. What was the game plan facing Montgomery here today?
We really didn't talk about it. I mean, we've seen him, 4 times, 5 times with the relief appearance, and he's had our number, and that kid is really good. And it's just one of those things. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. You got to go out and just look at the right pitches and take the right pitches, and let the chips fall where they may.
Stephen Kolek got the start here in Game 1 of the Top of the World Series. What was your opinions on his performance here today?
I thought Coley did a good job. I mean, he's a sinker ball guy, and he threw some really good pitches down the bottom of the zone, and got into some trouble. And then Mick really stepped up and did a great job.
Yeah, how about that? Coming in with the bases loaded, he was able to get the ground ball inning double play. It was a huge momentum swing in the ball game. So how does it feel having somebody like Mick Vorhoff and Jordan Floyd who you can consistently
Well,
get the
it's
ball
just
to?
a trust thing. Those guys are veteran guys. Floyd's going to be a senior and Mick's going to be a junior, and both have a lot of success as college players. And we just trust them. And when you have trust in your guys, you just turn the ball over and see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, Skip, congratulations
Thanks,
on
man.
the 3-1 victory, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Dan Collins will be with the player of the game, Jake Scudder, when we come back on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Dan Collins joined alongside Matsu Miners player of the game here, Jake Scudder. The Matsu Miners winning quite a nerve-wracking one by a score of 3-1 in Game 1 of the Top of the World Series here tonight. I was just kind of fooling around with Scudder before we turned on the mics and the camera, saying that go-ahead RBI back in the 8th inning was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good one.
And so what did you see there? And you come up to the plate, you already had 2 hits and a run scored on the night. And in that situation, that RBI, bringing Levi Jordan in with 2 outs in that scenario, absolutely huge, especially when you have a guy like Big Boy Floyd warming up in the bullpen. If you give him the lead, he could come in during a save situation. So just take us through your thought process and how big you knew that ribby was.
Going into the at-bat, I wasn't expecting to get much to hit. 2 outs, potential winning run on second, base open. So I was sitting off speed and trying to get something over the middle of the plate. I could try to scoot up the middle, and I got a good pitch to hit, change up that he left up, and I capitalized, so it was good.
Absolutely. There's a lot of moments we had to take a deep breath and exhale here in the booth. One of those moments being when the bases were loaded for the Oilers, and Mickey Vorhoff comes in relief for Stephen Kolek. And what does he do? Well, he produces a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Stephen Kolek, before he was taken out of that game, pitching a complete gem. So first things first, what did you see from Kolek tonight, who Ben Taylor gives the ball to him, a big right-handed arm out of Texas A&M? And not just him, the 2-part question being the man out of GCU, Mick Vorhoff, has been spectacular all season long, comes in, he shuts the door.
Yeah, we all had a lot of confidence with the starter going into the game, and he really came out and was confident early and was working with all his pitches. So he gave us a good start. I think we put a run up in the second maybe, and got him a lead, and he really pitched off that. So I mean, with Mick coming in, he's lights out. He's been like that all year. He's in that same role at GCU, and he finds himself in a lot of tight positions, but he usually comes through, and he got a good one in there.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. We are one game away from doing something pretty special here, Scud. What's the kind of feeling these boys have to bring into tomorrow night? There is game 2 starting at 1 p.m. That's the next time these boys are going to play some baseball. You take the much crucial game 1 in a best-of-3 series. So what's going to be the message and should be the mindset heading into the ballpark tomorrow afternoon?
It's just business as usual. We're going to do the same thing we usually do. Wake up, go to the gym, hang out in the clubhouse, watch some Family Feud. So I don't think it'll be much different. Maybe we'll cherish a little more. This might be the last time we get to step on the field together. So I think it'll be high intensity. There'll be a lot of fun. So we're just going to play our usual game, go out and have fun.
Well, no matter what, tomorrow will be the last time these boys play together as the 2016 ABL Matsu Miners. Scud, good game and good luck moving forward into tomorrow.
Thank
When
you.
we come back, I'll be joined alongside my broadcast partner, Jordan Swick, here on your Napa Auto Parts postgame show. Hey, my hair's not messed up anymore. It's Dan Collins joined alongside Jordan Swick. I hope, at least I think, you had a happy Ben Taylor. He got to exhale a lot. He sure did a lot of exhales on his way up from the stairs. Oh, boy, we can't necessarily say exactly what he said when he walked into this booth. Let's just say he was relieved. A lot of exhales and a lot of feelings of relief so far during this ball game. And what else do you expect? It's game 1 of the top of the World Series between the Matsu Miners and the Peninsula Oilers. The Miners were basically the first-place team in the ABL nearly, 2/3, 3/4 of the season. The majority of the season, it was the Miners and the Peninsula Oilers right behind them. Every time these two teams get together, it is one pitcher's duel. That's exactly what it was here tonight. And this game 1 was absolutely crucial, not because game 1 of any best-of-3 series is big, but you're out there facing Justin Montgomery, and if you beat him, which we did, you don't have to see him anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the biggest thing. Justin Montgomery went the distance pretty much here today.
Went a long way.
Yeah, but you got to tip the cap to him. He kept the Oilers in it every single step of the way. And we knew it would be a tough performance for the Miners hitters to go up against Montgomery. And the Miners, coming into today, only had the one successful game against him.
Yeah.
And today he pitched his butt off. He pitched really well. He got the tough loss, however. And you just got to tip your hat to everybody involved, the Miners especially. And you mentioned it, Dan, that this is a very important win for the ball club. Now you head into tomorrow only needing one win.
Yeah.
One win does it. Now the Oilers, on the other hand, they need 2 wins.
Yeah, and 2 9-inning ball games.
Yeah, they're 2 9-inning ball games. Every other doubleheader that we've played this season has been 2 7-inning ball games. But because that this is the championship,
yep,
it will be 2 9-inning ball games. So we'll see who will prevail in that one. The Miners, as of right now, with the upper hand because of the victory here today. We'll see how that plays into a factor here tomorrow.
Yeah, when we come back, it's going to be a quick turnaround for us. Rather, we'll be here at the ballpark in the morning before the afternoon even strikes. Game 2, rather. Game 1 goes to the Miners. Game 2, it's slated for a 1 p.m. start tomorrow night. The boys taking care of business here. You could credit Mick Vorhoff with the win. Justin Montgomery with the loss. Is that right? That's right. It's the loss. He's credited with the loss. Jordan Floyd is credited with the save. I know there's only one more to go, ladies and gentlemen, before we could do something special here this summer. But as I said earlier, still a long way to go. That one is a long one, and the journey continues tomorrow at 1 p.m. And until then, that's when we'll be here on the call. That's 1 p.m. Alaska Daylight Savings Time. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to go relax. It's been a long one. For my broadcast partner, Jordan Swick, our media manager, Josh Grissom, our special guest, Kevin Christopher, and, of course, a special thank you going out to wrap up this broadcast, both P and Denise Christopher. I am Dan Collins saying I'll catch you on the flip side here on your Matsu Miners Radio Network.